It's Operation Babble with Myke Shrews. It's pop culture, music, movies, TV too. It's time to explore life. It's Operation Babble time.
Another week.
Another day. Another episode of WandaVision. Hey.
Yeah, a
We
big
gotta
one.
rhyme it some way. How you been doing this last week, Tivis?
Well, since Netflix got rid of the majority of the Power Rangers, I've actually watched a ton of shit.
Oh, that's official now, right?
Yeah.
And which ones are left on there now? Just like
Well,
three?
no, not even that. We got season 1 of Mighty Morphin. They didn't even leave us all 3 of those.
What?
Ninja Steel is available in other countries, not the US. And then there's Beast Morphers, the newest one. And all the other Saban shows are gone too.
And now does Netflix still have? Or no, they never had Next Mutation, did they? So you couldn't watch like that side by side with what was it, Galaxy or
Space.
Yeah, that was I like that crossover. That was a fun one. So
Oh, it's not official. It's different turtles, according to some fans,
different turtles.
because
Like
they
what?
hate the
whole,
Next
like,
Mutation.
So the Next Mutation is supposed to be different turtles than the
Ones in
whatever.
Power Rangers, which is bullshit. It's the same fucking ones.
Exactly.
They even have Venus, I think.
Yeah, it's a full on crossover. What? How?
It is.
So they like the turtles from space, but they didn't like them in Next Mutation, even though they're the same fucking costumes.
Mm-hmm.
That makes no sense.
I know.
What? And they acted almost the exact. They did act the same, from what I recall. Besides when they were being controlled and being evil.
Yeah.
Spoilers for a show that's like 20 some years old.
You know, the Next Mutation wasn't exactly beloved at the time of its airing, which, if you're still salty about that, there's a really awesome crossover comic with Boom and IDW. I highly recommend it.
I liked Next Mutation. I mean, clearly I have a Venus de Milo background, which we didn't even discuss. We were gonna get into Next Mutation. It just kind of happened. That's crazy. I kind of liked Next Mutation. I bought it when it was released on DVD and everything.
Did you put a bid in to buy that horrifying costume that was on sale? What was it, last year?
No, the decaying one. That's decaying. Yeah, no.
Give you nightmares.
They I would love to see them like bring Next Mutation back and do like kind of a crossover with the Arrowverse with it. Be awesome. It was a lot campier, of course, than the Arrowverse, but they were all shot in Canada, so hey. Yeah. No, I enjoyed the show. It was weird because you're kind of like, well, when does this take place in the Turtle verse of like movies and stuff? Because they do have the subway train from the second and third film that they had in the movies is in the TV show.
And are those supposed to be connected, or is they just trying to make them look similar?
There's no way that they're connected because they bring Shredder back.
Yeah.
Or Rokusaki back as like I believe he's like a homeless guy who lost all of his memories or some shit in that one.
So Thor's dad.
Basically. Yeah. So they but they created like the I think it was the Dragon Emperor for that show is what it was. It was like their big main bad guy. Yeah.
That is one of the few, that and Mystic Knights of Tirnog I have not seen since they originally aired, like anything.
Yeah. We were watching through Next Mutation, me and the kids, probably about a year or two ago, but we need to get back to it because I want to dive really deep into it. We were watching, but when it was streaming, I think it was on Netflix streaming or Amazon or one of those services that we had at the time. Before all the services came about. And we were watching it on there, and they seem to enjoy it because it's very campy. It's very, I can understand why people like older turtle fans at the time did not like it whatsoever, especially after watching the live action movies that we got. I mean, you go from the first movie to the second movie, there's a massive like tone shift anyways. So I'm like, if you could deal with that, then why can't you deal with this? And then eventually when they did a I'm sorry, I'm going down a turtles thing. I need to get out of it. But eventually when they did the TMNT Forever cartoon when Nickelodeon first bought them, they actually had like a giant screen which showed the multiverse, the turtle verse, if you will.
I was gonna say, didn't one of the later shows have a crossover with that original cartoon?
Yeah,
not the original cartoon, but the first Nickelodeon one.
The Turtles Forever did the crossover with the 2000 Turtles, and then the 90s Turtles, and then
Their Crisis.
And then they had the Noir Turtles from like the comics, the black and white, and
which are brutal as fuck.
Yeah, they are. But on the screen they had like pictures of different iterations of turtles. They even had fan art of turtles on there as like it's its own universe of turtles, which is pretty cool. And then of course Next Mutation was up there. Each individual movie clip had something up there. So it was pretty cool to see them like open that, which is a good thing they did that, because when they did that and then those new movies came out that Michael Bay's company produced, people were like complaining this and that. I'm like, I actually am fine with it because it's a whole nother universe. It's not like it's supposed to be in the same universe or anything like that, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, they're not that super great, but they weren't horrible. I enjoy them. You know, I got to see Krang and Bebop and Rocksteady in live action. You fucking kidding me? And then the other dude was the guy from Malcolm in the Middle, the fat neighbor from Malcolm in the Middle. I forget his name.
He lost a ton of weight though, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did.
He's a funny guy. I like it when he shows up and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't think he's been a mainstay in anything in a while, but
no, I don't think so. But I think the other one you were talking about was the recent, like the 2012 versions of the TMNT cartoon did a crossover again with the 90s TMNT universe.
Gotcha.
So it was like that weird, like 3D CG universe that they had that they crossed over with the originals. They got
Jimmy Timmy.
Yeah, they got some of the original voices to come back because the guy who plays, who is it, Wacko on Animaniacs plays Raphael. So,
really, I didn't know that.
Or in the original series, and he came back in the 2012 series and voiced. I think it was Leonardo was Jason Biggs. I think he voiced Donatello. It was one of the two. He didn't come back as the same character, but yeah, he voices a lot of characters. And if you guys don't know who that is, what is his name? Something Polson.
The voice of Wacko.
Yeah. I always forget his first name.
I got Jess Harnell.
Okay, so then it's Yakko. I always confuse the two. Yeah, because Wacko's the crazy brother and
Robert Frederick Paulson III.
Yeah, Robert Paulson. He voices a lot of different characters and a lot of different things.
Oh yeah, he's Carl from Jimmy Neutron, Pinky from Pinky and the Brain, Spike from The Land Before Time. You remember those movies?
I mean, did Spike didn't talk? Did he?
That's a good question. Was he like the one that was a dog?
Spike didn't. Yeah, he didn't talk. He groaned and grunted and stuff.
He was the mask in that series.
Wait, the mask in like the
animated series?
Well, that wasn't Jim Carrey? Yeah. Okay. Interesting.
Which is weird. You think he would have voiced Ace Ventura too, but I guess not.
Yeah, I always thought that was weird because like Jim Carrey's movies kept getting cartoons. I was like, why is it not the same guy doing the voice? It would have made sense, or like even the same animation for like the character, because it's like you're portraying the same freaking actor. Why are we not doing this? It was weird.
Oh, he's from Detroit, so he's pretty much a local guy to me.
Yeah, he's a
Well, to
Detroit
us.
boy.
Well, you used to.
Once Detroit, always Detroit. Let's just go there. Um, yeah, but he's a pretty cool voice actor. I like listening to him. He's the one that's created that whole the states song that they do in the Animaniacs.
Oh, yeah, one of the
Guy
most beloved songs.
Yeah. So and he's been doing different ones too recently. So yeah, he's a really cool guy, and he's played the Ninja Turtle. So 2 Ninja Turtles now, I believe. Um, so yeah, the only Ninja Turtle show I can't really talk on is the newest iteration. Uh, I don't even recall what it is. I have all the action figures to it hanging on my wall downstairs, but I don't recall what that one was called. It was like they got mystic powers or some shit like that.
Your boys didn't get into it?
We don't really watch a lot of like Nickelodeon and stuff.
That's where
So
Power Rangers is. You right?
what?
That's where Power Rangers airs.
Yeah, well, we don't watch it live.
I don't either. So
Our TV is either like Netflix, Amazon, Hulu, now Disney Plus, or we're watching Impractical Jokers, which comes back on this week. It will be a day before this podcast drops. So tomorrow, I believe, for us, for me and you. And for people that don't know, we record on Wednesdays generally.
and it's today, yes.
At at this time anyways. It might change. And then we record it early in the morning, so anywhere between 8:30 to 10 we start recording. So
Yeah. Sometimes we go until noon with those longer ones.
yeah, so that might be why sometimes you hear us stuttering or just sounding super fucking tired, because sometimes we don't sleep at night.
About 5.
What's that?
Like I said, I got about 5 hours.
That's a lot more than some of us, Tivis.
I mean, I don't want to brag or anything.
Go have some kids already, damn it. No.
I wish that on me.
You'll be praising those 5 hours of sleep. All right, so what we got on the docket today, man? I have one thing I wanted
Well, before we go any further, I want to shout out Mitch Angel Watches. You know, he commented on last week's episode on YouTube.
All right.
He's been saying he's been recommending it to people. We really appreciate that.
Thank you. I wonder, does he do any videos himself?
Ooh.
That was really loud. Hold on, we're gonna go back for a second. I stopped. Thank you. We're gonna start from one right here. Just because I already have it out. Boom,
Save time in post.
boom, boom. And then why did that turn back on to my computer? That shouldn't have done that. Sound, internal speakers. Boom, off. All right, so we'll start from here. Thank you.
It's Operation Babble.
Shit, that tried to record where we started at. So we'll go.
Well, we really appreciate that.
Thank you. So I kind of wonder, does he have any videos on his thing that we could
Doesn't
watch?
look like it. It looks like just like me, his account is just to watch, videos that are locked to younger.
Name, then I guess Mitch Angel Watches. So that works. Thank you, Mitch. Thank you very much for that comment and for letting other people know to be aware of us.
Yeah, that really helps.
Yeah. Now my back kills me. So, all right. From that note, please leave some comments, everybody, and let us know what you think, whether you're on a YouTube or on a podcast service. It definitely lets us know what we're doing right or wrong.
Or
So,
email us.
or email us
We got
at
that too.
operationbabble@outlook.com.
Let us know what you like, what you don't.
All right.
Um, yeah, I watched a crap ton of stuff this weekend or this week.
Did you?
Yeah, we finished the last 4 episodes of that. Oh man, I wish so bad the spinoff would have been picked up by ABC, but they passed. So hopefully someone else does. 'Cause I love these characters.
Yeah.
We finished. We had the Runaways came out like 2 years ago, the last season.
Mm-hmm.
We watched half of it when it came out, half of it last summer, and then watched the finale this weekend. So we were a little lost, but
So
we finished that show.
that's the Marvels one, right? Marvel
Yep.
Runaways.
Marvel's Runaways. Yeah, it's in the MCU and it has crossover with the Freeform show Cloak and Dagger a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Obviously, those shows aren't too connected, but I watched the finale of A Shield finally.
Did you? I have not watched that season at all yet. Well, we watched the first episode, I should say, and then we got sidetracked with everything else going on.
That final season, it pretty much became a mirror to Legends of Tomorrow.
Yeah, that's what I had heard. So,
I really,
with a
really
bigger
enjoyed
budget,
it.
probably, or about the same.
Probably about the same. Disney wasn't throwing money at their shows yet.
Yeah. Awesome.
We also tried Mr. Mayor, which is the new Tina Fey show. And out of all the new shows we tried, that's the only one I liked.
So wait, Mr. Mayor is what?
It's
the Tina Fey show.
Yeah, it's got Ted Dancing, Bobby, oh god, Moynihan from SNL, and Holly Hunter.
How do you consider that a Tina Fey show?
Because it's created by Tina Fey.
Oh, well, I would just say it's a Ted Danson show. Like, who the fuck cares about who created this stuff? It's about
I
the main actor.
generally enjoy all the stuff she's created so far. I mean, 30 Rock.
Okay, yeah. I was really hoping that, like my kid said it, my oldest kid said it, and it made sense. Mr. Mayor could have been a really cool spin-off from
Good Place.
Good Place, because then you're seeing him living his life and doing something, and yeah.
Oh yeah, that's maybe they'll make reference to that. She's real good about that. She's the one who did the Chuck it's because of her that I knew Chuck Lorre did the TMNT from the Kimmy Schmidt.
Yeah. Yep. Everybody knew he did TMNT though. That's like the biggest one that he did.
I didn't. But I was wrong. I forgot about Resident Alien premiering last week, and holy crap, dude, you got to watch this show.
It's on my to-do list. I just have not gotten to it. We've been watching some Dexter. We finished up season 4 last night of that, and
so what's considered the good part?
The best season of Dexter, and this is probably my 4th time watching the series all the way through, and this is my wife's first time. So after that season ended, like after the finale of that season, she just like sat there in awe and was like questioning and thinking and was like, that's fucked up, and like going through all the emotions. And I was just like counting the minutes of like how long she was doing it for. And then she woke up this morning still talking about it. I was like, see, now that is a good show then, if it's doing that to someone who generally doesn't give two shits about, a lot of movie stuff. And she probably hears a lot from me anyways, and it's just like, oh, shut the fuck up already. So I was like, see, now that means it's something good, Uh, I don't see her do that much with a whole lot of shows, at least uh, to that extent. So that was pretty cool. I think we're taking a break though from the till the to watch the fifth season for a while, because we did watch two seasons back to back, and we usually
Oh
just
yeah, you don't want
watch.
to get burnt out.
Right. Well, we usually watched like one season, took a break, another season, took a break. But when we did that before, we watched one season of Dexter and then, or no, we watched Dexter after we watched You on Netflix, which is about another serial killer. And I was like, oh, we need breaks like between these things because otherwise you're going to start getting messed up in the head. And so yeah, so we're taking a break from that, so we'll probably, of course, we have WandaVision that we'll be discussing a little bit here, but we're watching that, and then we are diving in. Well, I will probably dive into like Resident Alien, uh and Practical Jokers coming back, which isn't really a diving into show. It's
Soon, I
just a
think, right?
it's a new one.
Yeah, I meant it's premiering this month.
Tomorrow,
Tomorrow?
I believe.
Oh,
I believe it's tomorrow. That's what I said earlier too.
okay. So everyone listening to this, it came out. It started the day before you listened.
I believe that's what I believe because they are
I
marketing
set it to
stuff right
record.
now. So yeah, I believe it's tomorrow. If not
So
tomorrow, then
fascinated.
next Thursday.
Really want to see how they're pulling this season off.
Me too. I'm very curious because they live in New York. If people don't know, and Practical Jokers live in New York, and this season that they just did, they shot during this pandemic. And if you're not aware of an Impractical Jokers show, a lot of it has to deal with getting in people's personal bubbles. um, your space. You're not social distancing. You're trying to make people feel awkward, or you're making yourself look like an ass, basically. So I'm very
Buffoon.
curious to see how well they do this season or episodes that they did shoot. I'm not sure how many they shot or got in, um, because especially during the pandemic, I'm like, I wonder like how many people like got pissed off at some of the stuff they possibly did. But I think they're pretty smart guys to know their boundaries of what they can and can't do. And
Yeah.
being in New York where like things are really, really bad, still, I don't think that they went past those boundaries. Plus, I'm sure True TV would have like canned them if they did, because they don't want that bad rap on them.
Oh, yeah. Their producer appears in a lot of he got his own like spin-off show for a bit, not his about him, but talking about Impractical Jokers, and he appears in a lot of after the show segments, talking to him, and he seems like a pretty smart guy. He won't let him do anything too stupid.
No, no. Well, they all seem pretty smart about it. I mean, just to keep entertaining everybody. If you guys don't know them, again, just look up the Impractical Jokers. I know some
The
people
Tenderloins is what they go by
their
professionally.
loin, yeah. Um, but they to keep creating content for fans and for people during the pandemic. They just designed an entire show, basically like a Zoom conversation dinner party. It was called Impractical Jokers Dinner Party, and it was very entertaining to just watch them. You wouldn't think it'd be entertaining to just watch a bunch of four dudes just sitting around talking and eating food, about talking about shit that we don't even care about really too. It's just like they make jokes about it though, so it's fun. um and a lot of inside jokes if you've watched the shows throughout the year.
Mhm.
So that's what made I think what makes dinner party cool, and the fact that they're actually trying to go out and still create something for us to have some enjoyment during these times and stuff like that was
Because
really
they
cool.
they all have other jobs. Like
Yeah,
they're just not getting paid during all this. They just enjoy
right.
creating content for us.
Well, yeah, I mean, several of them, I believe, Joe Gatto and Murr both write books. They're both authors, I believe. Um,
He,
Quinn, Brian
he,
Quinn,
he
which
does a
is
lot with Smodcast and stuff.
yeah, he works with the guys over I don't think they call it View Askew anymore, so it's just Smodcast. But he does the Tell Him Steve Dave podcast. He has his own liquor company now.
Which the Steve Dave one has people from Comic Book Men.
Yeah, it's Brian Johnson and Walt Flanagan are the other two members of Tell Him Steve Dave. I should not know that, but I've been watching Comic Book Men, and I just watched the episode where Brian Quinn was actually allowed to be on Comic
Yeah,
Book
the cameo.
the one time.
For a split second.
Yeah. Well, no, he was in the whole episode. They did a
Was
whole
he?
episode with him.
Oh, okay. The only time I saw him was when they were having the movie premiere at the comic book store.
No, this was a comic show that they did at the comic book store. So he got to MC. So apparently he's been on the show twice then. Okay. But he does that, and then Sal does. Well, Sal used to own his own bar, Sal Volcano, and now he does stand up by himself, solo stand up, along with the stand up that the four do together as the Tenderloins.
He's got a YouTube channel. I forget what it's called.
He's doing different podcasts, and then he does this new show that I've become addicted to watching. Like, usually I just listen to podcasts, I don't watch them, but it's funny just to see their reactions on this show. And it is on
they debate food, right?
Yeah, it is called Taste Bud Pod. So the YouTube channel that's on, and I'm totally not getting paid for this, I promise, is No Presh Network, but it's No Presh, No Presh Network, no, and then PRESH Network, and you go on there, and it's him and the other dude, and they're talking like bacon versus sausage, Oreo versus chocolate chip cookie, shit like that. They're so much fun.
And he does a second podcast that's also available on that same YouTube.
Yes.
I haven't really watched too much of that one though.
Hey Babe. And that's with Chris. I forget what Chris's other name is, but I haven't watched that one. I
think
find
he's
the food one
people who work on Impractical, right?
No.
No? Oh, I thought he was one of the
guys like he's done stand up with on the road and stuff like that. Yeah. But man, yeah, the food one alone is just entertaining as hell. Even if you don't know the guy, like it's still entertaining.
They put up clips, so if you don't want to watch the whole thing, and they're hilarious to watch, just even out of context.
Yeah. I think I started sending that stuff to you, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Because I sat down and like I clicked on one, and I was just like, I am literally watching a video about two grown men arguing about what cookie is better.
The Chips Ahoy versus Oreo.
Yes. And I was just like, what am I doing with my life right now? Anyway. But that's the Impractical Jokers. I really enjoy their content, and I enjoy that they are not they haven't seemed to be anyways assholes in the public eye anywhere that's come out. So that's always a bonus too, when you have four dudes that can make dick and fart jokes and still aren't considered assholes anywhere. So yeah.
I don't want to burst your bubble, but Sal was on Only in New York podcast that my wife listens to, and she said he came off as kind of pretentious, but still not as bad as it could get.
I mean, we know people that are pretentious that have been on this show too, so it's not like I'm worried about pretentious people. Sometimes I can be very pretentious. So
yeah, but he's also the germaphobe, so I think that might go hand in hand a bit too.
Oh yeah. It's did you ever watch the Impractical Jokers movie?
Oh yeah, that was the last thing we watched before theaters got shut down.
Yeah, we got to see that in theaters. That was pretty fun. I read some reviews on it, and a lot of the people were like, "Oh, it's just like four dude bros getting together." Or no, their exact review was, "It's four white dude bros just getting together." I'm like,
they're already together.
Sal's not Caucasian though. He's like Cuban or something, like part Cuban or some shit. I'm like, you should probably get your facts straight before you start tossing that around.
And they're already together, so already the review is flawed.
Yeah. And
The plot to that movie is so funny.
a lot of it has to do, it's like at that point, to that reviewer, I'm just like, well, you're definitely not their target audience, because their target audience for that movie anyways are people that watch the show, because to get more enjoyment out of that movie, it's better to watch the show, because there's a lot of inside jokes within the film, for sure.
I don't think that movie was designed to bring in new audience, maybe bring back some of the old. And I really want to rewatch season 5 because of that movie, because they keep referencing it as the worst season they've ever done.
Yeah, I'm like, what? Like, I Googled it. I was like, what? Why was season 5 so bad? And I think it was, what was it? It was supposed to be because of, one of the producers had just started or just left. I forget which it is.
Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know that.
It is the inside joke, anyways.
Oh,
yeah.
Which is another spinoff.
Right. But anyways, enough of Impractical Jokers, enough of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, enough of voice actors who are awesome. I love you, Rob Paulson. I wanted to share with you something. A independent musician has been at #1 in the iTunes charts for almost a week now. The song dropped on the previous Friday, so it will be a week by the time this podcast drops. So if it's still at #1, that's ridiculously crazy.
Is it right now? Did you check?
Yes, it is still right now.
I was pulling up the charts.
Yeah, check that right now, just in case I'm an ass. But it had beat out people like Ed Sheeran, shit like that. So I found that very interesting as an independent artist to be able to do so without a label, without anything like that. And this artist is Tom McDonald. He's a Canadian artist who actually does all of his work in the States. So he lives in the States, but he does. So of course, most of his music is about the States because that's where he's living and seeing all the shit. And the song is called "Fake Woke." And this song, it like epitomizes like so much of the internet. It's like
so
it's crazy.
Nothing is loading for me.
Yeah, mine isn't loading either.
iTunes is apparently down. Let's see if I can pull it up on my computer.
Yeah. Charts. So he was on Fox News too for this video. He got pulled on to they did a piece on it, and then I believe he was pulled into an interview on there as well. You all right?
Yeah, I just tried to search for it, and it's like my computer goes, nope, can't find it.
I got it right here. Oh, wait. Why is it
okay, he's still #1 in the top 10 for US charts.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Underneath him is
Olivia Rodrigo.
People I don't know.
Justin Bieber's on there. He's #7. I know him.
Yeah.
Dua Lipa, my wife likes her. Ed Sheeran, I heard of him.
Yeah, he's the are we allowed to say ginger guy? Because is ginger like
yeah, that's what I've heard.
But that's him. But yeah, the song's called Fake Woke. If you guys haven't heard of it, go out and find it. It's called Fake Woke by Tom McDonald. I really just, even if you don't agree with every single thing this dude says, I think it's fucking awesome that independent artists can do something like that. Like,
yeah,
all the political shit aside and stuff like that, it's really cool to see an indie artist do that.
And that's it's I actually was listening to Fake Doctors Real Friends, the Scrubs thing. They were talking to forget what was his name. Anyway, he's the guy was talking about how a lot of people who don't have deals with labels are able to get out there more because of the streaming, even though they're losing money because of it. Like streaming is not good if you like an artist buy CDs. Uh,
Yeah. Well, he does. I know Tom McDonald does sell CDs directly through his website and all of his merch and shit like that. I usually just buy like a single here or there because I don't have a CD player anymore. So
Joshua Radin was who they were talking
Joshua
with.
Radin. Okay. Yeah, but buying CDs, buying from the artist directly rather than going to like an iTunes or something definitely helps the artist out a lot more.
Oh yeah.
iTunes takes a little bit of cut, but when you're independent, you only have to worry about like your distributor taking a cut. You don't have to worry about your label taking a cut as well.
And they don't make shit for streaming music.
Yeah, no. And also when you get streamable music, they can change it whenever the fuck they want. So if you like a certain lyric and then they cut it out like a day later or some shit.
Who was it? I think it might have been. I'm not 100% on this, but I think it was Kanye that released a beta of an album.
A beta, like
Yeah, like
a
it
test.
was unfinished, and then he released the whole thing, and there was like the songs were completely changed. So if you bought a digital version, it was gone. But if you bought the album, it's like I don't know if it was Kanye or not, but it sounds like some weird shit he would do. So if you have that album, it's like that music doesn't exist anymore because he recorded over it.
That's crazy. I've never heard of that. Whoever did that, if it was Kanye, I can understand. But any other artist, I'm not sure if I could understand it.
Maybe Tool, but I'm pretty sure it was not them.
No.
Because they're pretty artistic with their stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, for years he refused to even go streaming because he's like, it's an album. You're supposed to listen to the story from beginning to end. And people are like, well, when you do concerts, you play them out of order. And he's like, oh yeah, okay.
Dude, really the only reason to put your CD in, I guess, in any specific order would be if like one song flows right into the next. Like sometimes you'll have a song where the end instrumental is starting to flow and you can flow it directly into the next and you don't even know you changed tracks unless you're listening to them by themselves.
Yeah.
So
I mean, who doesn't use shuffle anyway?
It depends on the album or the mood I'm in. I've started to just start creating playlists. Here's my I need to think album, or basically the mixtape of the 2000s or the 2020s or whatever we're in now, the 21st century's mixtape.
Buck Rogers. Oh, he's 25th century. My bad.
Yeah. Is it 25th or 26th?
Oh, it might be 26th. Because I think it was 2,500, maybe. I don't know.
Anyways, I thought that was really cool. Thought I'd share that with the audience. I do listen to some of Tom McDonald stuff. It doesn't mean I agree with every single fucking thing he says. Same thing with Eminem. I don't agree with everything he says. Same thing with any artist. I don't agree with what they all say. But if you can bump to their music, it's pretty cool. So
no, that's always great when an indie person gets out there.
Yeah, definitely. And growing up in the indie circuit and still knowing people running the indie circuit of music side, it's always something I'm like, I share that information with them. I'm like, hey, I know you probably don't like this artist, but you should look into how they're doing this in this and this, because they're clearly working the system in some way that's helping them. Just by knowing what fans might like. I mean, Grant with Tom McDonald, he might be saying things purposefully to get like I don't want to say clickbait, but it works if that's the algorithm usage he wants to do. It works, and it gets you the views, it gets you the publicity that you need. So, I don't know if he's ever even been offered a deal, like a real deal or not, and then so I can't speak on that. But I mean, even ICP, ICP, Insane Clown Posse, they just created their own label. They did everything by themselves for themselves. I still don't think that they're part of any big label that I am aware of. So, they just have their own label and they sign other artists to their label now. So they've become kind of like the small big label for the, I think it's what is their label called? Twisted something or another. Twisted. I forget. It's out in Detroit, so or it used to be headed in Detroit. You looking at
Psychopath Records?
Oh, Psychopath. Yes. Why am I thinking Twisted? I was probably thinking of an album. Twisted Clown. Maybe that's
Twisted Sister.
Twisted Sister. There we go. They're all a little twisted. But yeah, so I really enjoyed that, and I always think if people can do that with music, you know, and there's been plenty of proven points too of independent filmmakers doing the same thing. Yeah. So some of them sell out really fast, some of them don't. So it just depends on those artists as well.
Yeah, we don't talk music a whole lot.
No,
but I'm very anti-label. Yeah. Like, I know that they help these artists get out there and well known, but the fact that they curate their music to fit whatever is popular at the time annoys the hell out of me. Well, that's why Metallica and a bunch of other bands from the 80s bought their music outright, because we're sick of doing what you tell us to do. Did it work out for Metallica? That's up for debate, but you know.
Well, they not only like tell their artists what to do, what not to do, and all this other bullshit, but like, they're like, well, you're not getting enough heat this year. Maybe you should do something like ridiculous, or maybe you should just chill out and shit like that. So, and you see it a lot with younger talent too. You can.
I was gonna say Selena Gomez. My wife really likes her pop, dance, lively music, but all she's released lately are these slow, or sad, slow. It's just not.
Well, they all picked up for, that style that like Billie Eilish fucking does.
Oh god.
Because the labels are like, this fucking sells. You're gonna do what she's doing with this.
We're gonna flood the market so people get sick of it.
Yeah. It's rush. It's rush. It's horrible. What the fuck?
Yeah, that's what they did to the metal bands. Nirvana was the one that ended it, but there was a metal band that released a slow, like, love song kind of thing, and it doesn't fit any of their music at all, but it got really popular, and all of a sudden the labels are like, all right, you all have to do this now. And they're like, no.
Yeah, it's crazy. And it's the same thing with, the thing too with big labels is and I see it with YouTubers even nowadays, just sad. It's like all the product placement. It's like your music video, your rap music video has to have this beat pill in it because we need a close-up of the beat pill. I'm like, it has nothing to do with what we're saying in this song. I'm talking about like losing the love of my life, and you want to put a beat speaker in my fucking video that you're gonna pan across, because they do it. I don't know if you've ever seen any of those. They'll just like pan across it and get this perfect thing with the logo, and I'm like, this is such shit. And people, it's not like we don't see it. Like, even everyday normal people understand what they're doing. I would hope, anyways.
Yeah.
I'm sure there is like a group of people that don't get how marketing works, but still, it's like, come on. I see what you're doing, and it's annoying me.
What's funny is that goes into a news story I heard this week with 007. Did you hear about this? The reshoots?
No, I thought they were
They
100% done with that.
Oh, they are, but the product deal they have with Nokia and a couple other things is that they are supposed to have the latest model of technology. The movie has been delayed so long they have new products, so they have to go reshoot the scenes.
That's funny. Oh shit, that's funny. Yeah.
Hmm.
Wow. Are they at least getting paid extra? Or probably not.
I don't know. It doesn't stay. It doesn't state.
Because if it's part of the original contract,
Mhm.
it's not Nokia's fault that they delayed the film. It's their fault because they could have put it out anywhere already. That's fucked up. That's genius on Nokia's part. Like, hey, so we have like 10 new products now. Like, here's the new model. Can you put this in here? I wonder if they're reshooting the scenes or if they're going to just
It
digitally
says
put them in.
they're doing both. It said some of the stuff, like the phone, they're going to have to reshoot, but other things like the watches or something, they can digitally alter.
Product placement. It wins every time. And while we're at it, if you have any products that you want Operation Babble to put in their videos, let us know. All right. So now what are we doing?
We could go straight into WandaVision if you want.
Oh yeah, I totally forgot we were going to talk about that for a minute. So this week we decide we're actually not going to do the deep dive shit because we're recording this we watch Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, like
5 days.
5 days after we watch it. I'm not going to go back and rewatch it just to talk about it. So we're not going to well, I shouldn't say that because sometimes I do that for some things. But I'm not going to go back and rewatch this right now because I just have way too much stuff to do. So we're going to just discuss some key points and things that we think we enjoyed about this episode. So, do you want to start me off, Tivis? Start me off. Start us off.
That was a weird way to put it.
There we go.
Holy shit. They I kind of expected an episode like this, but I don't know if I expected it so soon.
Mm-hmm.
Like just oh man, they brought back the girl from Thor, Darcy,
Yes.
who I maintain seems a lot less annoying since Two Broke Girls is off the air.
And she's a lot older now too. Like
Yeah,
it's been a few years.
it's a shame they didn't bring back the other guy. What was his name? Eric.
He's been in so many Marvel things already
He
though.
hasn't been in anything since the Dark World.
He was in maybe you're right.
He was in the insane asylum because Loki drove him crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, literally.
I thought he came back after that too for something. Was he not in Agents of Shield?
I don't think so,
Okay. Um
but
I mean they might still bring him in. We don't know cuz yeah, it's only episode what? 5?
four,
5.
four, or five drops today for listeners.
Okay.
Uh,
So
but I really enjoyed seeing the chaos that of everyone coming back after they reverse the snap, which
yes.
annoys the hell out of me that they're sticking with the.
You're cutting out.
Oh, you're back.
Okay. Go again?
I hate the fact that they're sticking with the blip term because it worked for Spider-Man because high schoolers, but
Yes.
you couldn't come up with anything else for the rest of the world. I mean, this is an government agency.
Yeah, it was interesting. I don't know why they just didn't keep calling it the Snap because they called it the Snap the entire Endgame movie.
Which I guess only makes sense for the people who were there, but still.
Yeah. The thing that got me is Well, in Spider-Man, you kind of just see it from the kid's point of view. It was kind of funny, haha, when the people got snapped back into place. This one really shows you it's not just funny. It's like, holy fuck, like, because they snap back in the hospital and we get to see that. There's people snapping back in the beds. There's not enough space for all these, patients that might have been dying, might have been sick with something.
The doctor's freaking out. We don't have room for all these patients.
Which then led me to my same belief is, okay, so we're literally seeing everybody being snapped back into the same place, like in Spider-Man, like they showed us.
What if somebody's laying in that bed already?
What if somebody was on a plane? There's
that was another
dropping out of the fucking sky.
We see a helicopter crashing into a building in the end of Infinity War.
Yeah. So I want to see that scene of just bodies falling randomly.
Which I heard they might touch on a little bit in Jessica Jones, but since those are so far removed, they don't really go into it.
What do you mean?
Apparently the third season of Jessica Jones takes place after the snap, and you see a little bit of society trying to figure stuff out. No,
they
not
don't
at all.
reference that shit at all.
That's a shame.
They do not. Whoever told you that is a liar. Because that season has nothing to do with any of that shit ever. Because you're waiting for it. You would expect those to do it to stay, kind of even how like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. would deal with some of the stuff, but nope.
Which Agents, apparently they wanted to end the show at Infinity War, and ABC's like, nah, keep bringing it back. And they're like, all right, well, we're just going to pretend it didn't happen.
Yeah, they basically created a multiverse with themselves. Because it was, don't get me started on that shit. Bro, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., like, they literally were going through the events of Infinity War.
Mm-hmm.
In the show, they show the giant ship attacking New York. And then the next season is 1 year later. I'm like, we should be in snap times, bro. Like,
they could have even said it happened to the members of the team that are not Mockingbird and her boyfriend. Mm-hmm. They could have brought it up with them. They got lucky and the team didn't get affected.
What I think they could say, possibly, and this is my thought process on it, is one, when they stopped the inevitable earth-shattering moment in the previous season, that stopped Thanos's reality from coming to fruition, like him winning in their universe. So they basically changed their timeline. So in another timeline, so then I guess the movies are basically in a whole nother timeline. No.
Nah. Unfortunately.
Yeah. Just go with it. Just go with it. You have, that's the only way to say it. Is there when they changed the future of the world being shattered in half on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
But that version was Thanos didn't even get a chance to snap his finger because Earth was literally decimated.
Right.
Can you imagine he's like coming to invade to get the stones and then the planet's just destroyed?
You can't find the stones anywhere.
Yeah. That and the Loki what if.
Oh man. All right. Look, anyways, we're back to WandaVision.
Which,
how Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. pissed me off with that one.
Can I talk about the title for a second? We interrupt this program. How perfectly it takes us out of the Wanda thing with the people, and we get all what's going out in the real world, and it's awesome. Finally, some answers, some, not all.
Oh yeah, as soon as I saw the title, I was like, oh, so this is not going to take place in that world at all, like right now.
So there's some episodes that air that we don't see because they're talking about what's going on in this episode with the Wanda stuff, right? I think that's the assumption I got from what's going on. Is it a continuous broadcast?
All that stuff that we already saw is what they're watching in this episode.
Yeah, but they're like watching continuous. So I'm like, is there multiple episodes going on with that?
No.
Off screen?
No.
Or is they just on repeat?
I think it's just.
Excuse me.
I think they're because they don't really give a time frame for how long.
No,
Well,
they
no, they
don't.
do. They say it's been only like a couple days or some shit like that.
Yeah, since what's her name from which turns out to be the kid from Captain Marvel. How awesome is that?
Yep. Monica Rambeau, who ends up becoming a Captain Marvel of her
Or Photon,
Marvel.
or
I should say Marvel since they don't want to say Marvel.
well, that was the alien.
I know that they screwed that whole storyline up too, but that's another show.
Yeah, I mean the cancer thing was heartfelt in the comics, but you really have to set that up. It'd take too long for a movie.
Well, I mean, yeah, I guess so. Yeah, no. So the stuff that they're watching is basically just what we watched in clips and stuff of it that we see.
Darcy is the one who finds it. Oh, also they bring back Jimmy Woo from Ant-Man, who might be my favorite federal agent of this universe.
Yeah. There's rumor or there's a want from the fandom that wants Darcy and him to get together, not as a relationship, but like in their own spin-off show for X-Files
Like
style.
X-Files type.
But as cool as that would be, and I would totally be down to watch it, it wouldn't be like what people would think it would be. It would be X-Files ish. It wouldn't be as dark because these two are more humorous by nature.
I think it would work better if it was like some kind of shorts, like maybe 5 to 10 minute videos of them investigating, finding out there's nothing going on, and being like,
I tell you something, guys. I would have shit my drawers if they would have had Mulder and Scully show up for this episode, because they
that would have been
X-Files
great
now.
cameos.
They own X-Files now, so they could have put them in there. I would have been like, fuck yeah, let's go with this. I don't care how many people are going to hate it, but I would fucking have loved that.
That would have been awesome.
Yeah.
Even just, as, I don't know, I wouldn't have been too happy if they were playing other characters, but maybe you see them talking in the background.
No, I would want them to be their characters. Although when we last saw Mulder and Scully, like Mulder was kind of like paralyzed or some shit. I don't remember exactly.
Give him the Xavier treatment. He's got to.
Like he was something was wrong with him. I think he was like dying. I forget. I'd have to go back and watch that last season. I only saw that season once. The one that they like brought back for one season, and that was like, we're ending it on this. Like it was ended better before, guys. Like what are we doing?
Whatever happened to that? They were supposed to do a second season.
They never touched it, and now Disney owns it, so I guess they're never touching it again. They would be stupid not to use that franchise.
I can see them doing one more movie.
X-Files meets the Predator.
Yeah.
Boom. That I think that was a comic actually, or X-Files versus Aliens or some shit like that.
I'd be shocked if it wasn't. Actually, that's a good crossover. I mean, if you can do Batman and Aliens,
Batman TMNT, I want to see that live action. That'd be cool.
Have you picked up the animated movie?
I watched the animated movie. It was meh. It wasn't super horrible, but it wasn't great at all. Anyways, we're getting off task again.
Oh, Jimmy Woo was the voice we heard on the radio. I knew that voice sounded fucking familiar.
Yeah. I think they distorted it enough to make people think that it was going to be like Cap or some shit, because it sounded rough. But I was like, well, no.
And the song playing is a Beach Boys song, which I like the Beach Boys over the Beatles. Sorry, people.
So basically the whole episode is just these guys watching, trying to figure out what's going on.
Yeah. Sending drone after drone in, which is the helicopter we see.
I think they only sent one drone.
Oh no, you see them. They're like continually launching and sending them through.
Okay.
Like every time we get an outside shot, there's someone sending one in. And the beekeeper.
Yeah.
That poor dude has to be confused.
The beekeeper. It was
hazmat too. Do you like how his safety rope turned into a jump rope?
Yeah, yeah, that was pretty cool. Um, I'm trying to think of some of the key points that I enjoyed out of this, like, because there wasn't a whole lot of like key moments because you basically know what they're getting ready to do with this
Hmm.
episode, but it's cool to see them doing it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like even though you know what's coming, you're kind of like, okay, I think I'm ready for this.
I'm real curious to see where it goes from here because we got answers up through those first three episodes, but I mean, we still got what? This is a 9 episode
Five
series, so we got
episodes left.
five to go.
Yeah, and the cool thing is, for me anyways, how I'm thinking of it, I'm like they just gave us a buttload of information that we
Mhm.
didn't have starting 3 episodes ago.
And there's still
Like
questions left over,
there's some questions, but then I'm
especially
still
with that
like,
ending.
yeah, but I'm also like there has to be more to this than what than just her being
I,
spoilers, just her being
I
the
think we're
bad.
past spoilers.
Yeah, but there has to be more to the story than just her being bad. Honestly, just because of the way they laid out the first 3 episodes, I feel that that was awesome. I really enjoyed that type of filmmaking,
Mhm.
and I want to see it more often, especially from a company like Marvel.
I'm actually surprised at the amount of people who are like, those first three episodes are so slow. I'm like, what do you, is it just because I like old television shows? Because I could just watch that without any kind of other connecting plot.
Yeah. Well, I like old television. We discussed this the first time. I think we talked about the first 2 episodes. So that's one reason I liked it. But I also liked not knowing what the fuck was going on.
Yeah.
Like that's a lot of people, and I don't want to be that guy, that pretentious asshole, but a lot of people are used to movies telling them exactly what they're supposed to be thinking at this exact moment and shit, and they don't let people infer their own, mind to it. Like, think about it. You're supposed to go to movies and think. Some movies you're not supposed to, and some movies you are. And this is the story that you really they set it up for you to use your mind, to think, to be confused, to not walk in and walk out of every episode understanding what you just watched, honestly. And that's why I'm really glad that they just jump right into the black and white show rather than giving you this episode here up front
Oh yeah.
and then dropping into the first episode.
And like the I really like the scene where Jimmy's writing on the whiteboard like pretty much every question we have and giving us more questions. Like apparently the town, the weird magic thing Wanda's doing is in a hexagon. I don't know what's that about.
Mm,
And is Vision alive, which comes into question at the end of this.
yeah.
Like, holy crap, that was a terrifying scene. She like
Yeah.
pictures him as his core. Like, is she puppeteering him?
Right, she has the vision, or like she has the vision of Vision being dead, um but like zombie-ish, which is really, it's really
It's
jarring.
gonna scare kids.
It did scare kids, I'll tell you that. um I know some adults that were probably freaked out about it too.
Oh,
I
my
looked
wife
at it
yelled.
and I was like, I want to see that Vision on screen more. That's what I thought. I was like, I want to see him walking around like that. Like, let's just see what she sees. Um, it can,
Like that
can
scene right
be,
there kind of dispelled any like
yeah.
these kids, these are shows are gonna be mostly geared for kids. Like, no, they're gonna put some weird
Yeah.
shit in there.
Oh yeah. This show and I'm gonna say the Loki show probably are not the best for kids under the age of 10. I'll go with that.
Yeah. I mean, you should know your own, maturity of your children.
Yeah.
If you don't, you're a bad parent. Uh,
But like we don't, our youngest, he's 7 and he doesn't watch WandaVision with it. Like he watched the first 2 episodes
mhm.
and he kind of got a little weirded out with like the choking scene. So we were like, all right, you're good. You don't have to watch
Yeah.
this.
Come back to it in a couple years.
Right. Um But you know that Vision spot like scared the crap out of my kid, my older
Yeah.
one. I enjoyed it. I was like,
My wife, yeah.
yes. I was like, give me more. And then they eventually just tell you it's Wanda. Wanda's the one behind everything. Blah blah blah. I don't believe that. There has to be more. If that is it, if it's just her behind it, I'm going to be disappointed. I'll tell everyone right now.
If this was
Likely be disappointed.
sticking to just comic Wanda, I would believe it. But as this is a Disney TV show, I also believe someone is manipulating her.
There has to be something else behind it.
Or maybe like pushing her in a certain direction or something.
Right. And what was it?
They did kind of pinpoint when this takes place. It's like a week or two after Captain America goes back in time.
Yes.
So it's still months away from Peter's trip to Europe.
Yeah. Which I thought about that. I was like, well, so this is before the Spider-Man Far From Home. So this might be able to show some information as to why they weren't able to contact any of the other Avengers for that movie. We'll see what they do.
Can I just say my favorite background character might be the security guard when the girl from God, why can I not remember her name from Captain Marvel? Help me out here. You said it earlier. Monica.
Oh, Monica.
When she goes back to her work, which turns out to be, Sword headquarters, funded by her mom, which makes sense, and he's like, if you worked here, your badge would work. That's a good security guy.
Wow. That was another interesting one. It's like, so Sword's been established this entire time. Why haven't we seen them ever? Because we've been with Shield. I get it why we haven't seen them, but then it starts to raise some questions. They should have just made it so Sword was created during the 5-year period.
They
should have done.
They're definitely going to tie it into Shield, though. I mean, with Nick Fury there, they're going to be somewhere on the books, like a division of them.
Yeah. I did notice that they did change Sword from
oh yeah, they did do that.
What did they change? It was they call it Sentient Weapon
Observation and Response Division
instead of Sentient. I think it is Sentient World instead of Weapon is what it used to be in the comics, anyways. So
obviously it's kind of taking its namesake off of Captain Marvel, the living weapon.
Yeah.
But also that could be a reference to mutants.
It could also indicate
Inhumans,
what they might do with Wanda's kids when they come back, because I don't know if people know, like, her kids are most likely real in this now, because in the comics even she basically just made her kids, like,
was it you that passed around the theory that she might have been pregnant during the fight with Thanos during Endgame, and that this is actually from the pregnancy?
Yes, I had said that, which could still possibly be it.
Could be,
but also in the comics,
I mean, we know Josh Whedon wanted to give Vision a penis.
Joss,
damn it,
Joss.
I do say it correctly majority of the time.
There's no H. It's Joss.
I know.
I'm
not doing it on purpose, I swear.
Probably shouldn't say his name anyways. We might get canned off the internet. No, so yeah, that could still be a possibility of her being pregnant before all of this even happened. But in the comics, I do know that she just like made her kids and that was it. So that might be what she's doing here. We don't know until later. That will be one of the deeper secrets I think that they'll get into. So we'll see what they do for it.
And anyone who like goes and reads like up on the characters in the comic lore, I would highly suggest holding off because, well, for one, these kids are complicated as hell in the comics. Like there are so many convoluted stuff. It's annoying, but also, you don't know how much they're going to take from it.
Right. And there's a couple different iterations, I believe, especially of Wiccan. I know he had like 3 different storylines from what I recall.
Possibly. I kind of just read where they met in Young Avengers, so
Okay.
I'm not too far into there.
This could change a lot though. They actually have the opportunity to make this is a deep one. Okay. You don't have to go with me, people. I understand. But because this does take place before Spider-Man Far From Home, they could potentially erase that entire movie with this. So there's that.
Like she is a scary, scary character in the comics. Oh,
There we go. Are we back?
no, did you lose me?
Yeah, I couldn't hear you
Oh,
at all.
I was saying how she's a terrifying character in the comics, and they could go that route or they could not. They're being kind of wish-washy with her powers.
Yeah. Well, I really do feel that they could erase the Spider-Man movie if they wanted to with this because it does take place before it and they're diving into other stuff. Maybe Spider-Man Far From Home is another universe. Maybe it's not necessarily this specific one. It's another
Maybe
one.
that's how they're going to explain the Sony movies connecting.
Right. Or maybe they can not have Spider-Man be found out who he is. Or why the Avengers aren't there. Maybe it's because Peter Parker got blasted off to his own fucking planet. Boom.
But World War Spider.
The
Hulk reference.
So yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see what they do with it. Again, I'm not really saying much because a lot of it is just an information dump of what was happening before.
Yeah, there's just a lot of really cool moments.
There's some cool moments, and that's about it. Yeah, so I look forward to episode 5. And I can't wait to see what they do.
They could have used this, although they probably had the contracts already set before they started filming the reintroduction of Natalie Portman, because as boss was there Jane something.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me.
Jane Foster.
Since she's coming back.
I think it's Foster, right?
Yeah, I think so.
They might drop her in at the end. Who knows? I doubt it. I don't think they're gonna throw all their chips into one basket.
Yeah, I'm really not expecting any other. I know there's a lot of people who are like, "Oh, we're gonna see an Avenger appear." I'm like, I don't think so.
No, because if they were gonna see like Cap, you would have saw Cap by now.
And what's he really gonna do? Shake a cane?
Yeah, I can't really think of an Avenger that was connected really with Wanda.
Just an upcoming one, but
yeah, maybe they bring her brother back somehow.
I'm really hoping. That's one major reason I'm trying to avoid a lot of the cast lists is I don't want to know.
If they brought her brother back and like he was actually there and it wasn't just her creating him, that would be cool. Which is another reason why I kind of think she's doing what you said, like puppeteering his corpse. Otherwise, why isn't her brother there? Like, why aren't we just creating your brother too?
Yeah. That's great.
To be the
he's
uncle
holding children.
Yeah. But you could have
I guess he's a machine,
to
so
be an uncle. Yeah, I'm intrigued. They got me. They got my attention as long as this isn't what it is and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if the rest of the show is just them trying to figure out how to, beat Wanda, I'm like, no, fuck you. But as far as connection wise to Wanda, there's no Avengers that are connected to her. that are in this universe yet.
No, the only one was Vic, because Hawkeye was, I mean, he barely even knew her brother, but he was more connected to him.
Right. And well, they might have shared stuff off screen. We don't know that. So
Yeah, that's true. There is a lot of off-screen time because they refuse to make comics set in this universe anymore.
Right.
But hey, we got Wakanda coming up.
Oh yeah, there's a Wakanda
just announced
show or something in the universe of, or in the world of Wakanda or some shit like that.
Yeah.
They didn't.
They haven't said if it's live action or. Yeah, they haven't said if it's live action or animated, but hey, I'm all for these world building shows. Like I said, they refuse to release more comics, so I'll take it in whatever form.
For Wakanda show, what would you want? Would you want something set in present, past, or like way past, or during the snap?
Ooh, I'm all for stuff during the snap.
I think during the snap is the best time, since especially they don't have Chadwick.
Yeah, and the sister disappeared too, so it's kind of like a grab for power.
Right, because then you could have M'Baku. He was there the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
You could have had it showing M'Baku rising to power and becoming the king. Because I always thought it would have been cool to see M'Baku and Black Panther and T'Challa go at it after the snap return. Because I was like, well, someone had to be running Wakanda for 5 years. M'Baku's probably the most prominent person to have done so. And then 5 years later, it's like, who the fuck are you? You disappeared for 5 years and now you're coming back, and I was here for the people. I did this for the people. I did that. Why the hell do you want the kingdom back? I had it,
The only thing with that is
cool storyline.
It would. The only problem with that is we'll never get a resolution because Chadwick's gone.
They can recast him though. It's a character.
They could, but as of now, they have no interest in doing so.
Right. Eventually, they will. Eventually, they will. I feel that
maybe if it's an animated thing, they might.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Maybe. I can't think of who to recast Chadwick with. Because the guy that I would have cast as Black Panther has already been Killmonger, so you can't really do that. And I don't see. I would say, what's his name? The guy from Star Wars that played.
Oh God.
Crap, I forget his name.
But
I think he would have been an okay one, but I don't know if he's like perfect for a role.
John Boyega,
yeah.
I didn't even see it. I just saw his picture and it came to me.
I honestly think he could. And if Disney wanted to make up Star Wars for him, here's a role.
Yeah, talk about a guy who really got burned. He came in as a massive fan and left so disheartened.
Because I don't know if people have seen, Star Wars was not the best of his work. I'll tell you that. He did what he could with what he had. But if you've ever seen Attack the Block, holy shit, that movie is awesome. And that's actually how JJ hired him, off of that movie, off of seeing that movie. So I feel like he should have had a more prominent role in Star Wars. But since Disney kind of screwed the pooch on that one, why not give him the big role in their MCU films? They're going to need to recast. I don't care what people say. All the blurred groups I'm in, they're all talking about, just recast him. It's the character. It's not the guy. It's the character. And that's what we need to focus on. That's what a lot of people need to focus on. It's like Wolverine is not Hugh Jackman. We can recast him. It's okay, people. Like, yeah.
Oh, I heard some people talking about how they could do Wolverine because Hugh Jackman has had like a cameo and did he have some kind of weird cameo in Deadpool 2? Because in the first one they had his
that was his face in the first one.
Yeah, from a magazine.
The second one, I don't remember what it was.
Because I saw some people joking around about how they could have him do one last cameo in the Deadpool 3 film and then reveal the new one, because it'd be like Deadpool walks in, sees Hugh, and he's like, "You're not Wolverine," and then they cuts back to him and it's the new guy.
I think I would like that. I could do that. I could see that happening.
Of course, it's all if Hugh wants to come back.
All he has to do is show up to set like one day.
Yeah.
Let's go. Come on, Hugh Jackman. You can do it. They're
I heard
buddies anyways.
I heard more of the synopsis for Winter Soldier and Falcon, or whatever that order of that show is called. It kind of makes more sense to me now. I don't know if do you care if I say, or are you still?
Go ahead, man. I read some stuff, so I know a little bit on it, but
apparently, it's the government is trying to get back they're like, we own the Captain America, like the title, the shield is ours. We don't care if Steve Rogers gave it to you. So it makes a lot more sense than just, no, we don't want Falcon to have it. It's ours, and we're going to do it.
They have to say it in those specific ways, because if you say, no, we don't want Falcon to have it, then it's a real big issue. I mean, it's still already going to be viewed as a semi-race issue within the show, I feel. But Marvel is smart enough not to. They're a little more subtle with how they're going to do it, rather than if it was, a CW show and they're just going to throw it in your face. Like, oh, the government's taking it because he's a black guy. No, the government's taking it because they want the mantle Captain Marvel or Captain America. And they want
probably take that one too.
This other guy, though. That's the other issue in the synopsis, is they want to put it on this other dude.
They revealed who that other guy is, if you want me to say it.
Yeah, go ahead.
U.S. agent.
U.S. agent, that's right. Yeah. Which looks like their subtlety within that is awesome. Like, I don't know if people just hearing that, not even watching the show, just hearing the government doesn't want you to be Captain America. They want to take their shit back and they want to give it to this other guy. There's so much to like dissect just within that right there that can work with so many different elements of the real world. And it's awesome. And I'm for it. I think it's going to be a better show than what some people think. For my personal choice, I think WandaVision and Loki will probably be my top two, just because of the style they are. A little out of the box type thing. But this Falcon Winter Soldier show looks like it's going to be perfect, like espionage, war, crime type show that just looks awesome. Something your dad would probably like, if your dad was in the military back in the day, or your grandpa, something your grandpa could sit down and watch and get into. Your grandpa's not going to sit down and watch fucking WandaVision after he realizes it's not a 50s sitcom.
So I just read that apparently Sword was supposed to be introduced in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but Marvel Studios told them no.
Oh, fuck you, Marvel. That would have been cool.
Where they leave off with some of the characters,
oh yeah,
I kind of got the implication that they were working for a new agency, but they never explicitly said the name.
Well, they were starting to do a lot more space stuff anyways. Like, why wouldn't you be working with Sword or developing or creating Sword? So
yeah,
I'm curious. I'm not 100% with like what Sword was in the comics a lot, as much as
I only know it, the British agency side or whatever.
Right. It's like, so I'm not 100% on it, but did Rambo's mom actually create Sword or found it? Find it? I guess it would make sense because she was friends with Captain Marvel, who did that stuff. But
let's see, I got the thing pulled up. Huh? Sword was the head of Sword, Abigail Brand.
Okay.
Know who that is.
Well, that's the head. That doesn't mean she founded it. But yeah, I'm just curious about it. I really am interested to see if they do the space station that they had in the comics, because I remember seeing that all the time. like just the image of the giant station outside of Earth, I was like, yes. Also, how did Thanos not destroy that? Or Thanos, however you want to say it. Thanos. Uh, how did he not destroy their space station if it is there? Because there's no way they put one out in 5 years. There's no way.
Yeah.
Also, how did Thanos's army not destroy Stark's like satellites and all that shit? Like, if he knew who Stark was, you think he would have destroyed all of his tech in space that like left the bots for Spider-Man, or that had the Hulkbuster shit in it, all that stuff, you know?
He might have just seen it as inconsequential because he didn't go out of his way to do anything that wasn't part of his mission.
Yeah, I can see that. Um, why didn't they use Hulk? Well, I
Founded
guess.
it?
What's that?
It didn't. It doesn't say who founded it, just that it was an autonomous subdivision of Shield, and
Yeah.
that they kind of broke away after Nick Fury was removed as director.
Gotcha. Okay. So I guess it was just probably a separate division, but they don't say who founded it. In the show,
Yeah.
they say it was her mom that founded it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Just trying to get some facts straight, because I didn't think that
And
was the founder of it. Like,
because of her connection to Nick Fury, like I said, I really think there's going to be a reveal that's like, hey, he helped fund this.
yeah. Yeah, that makes sense, because Nick Fury was friends with her mom, or knew her mom anyways, after
They went to space.
Yeah. They went to space together.
He got attacked by a cat alien.
Oh, don't fucking fuck off with that, man. Come on. Ah. No. He did not get attacked by a cat alien. That's not where that scar came from. His wife abused him or something. I don't know.
Then the cat threw up on his desk because cats are assholes. I own one, or not own. We have one living with us.
Are we ever going to get to see Nick Fury's kid, you think?
Oh, Junior? Ooh,
Or is it
I would think so. No, it's his kid. He abandons it. He abandons him.
So it's Killmonger 2.0. Okay.
His kid's kind of an asshole.
Yeah, he is. Okay, so wow, there's a lot of shit. That's a lot of stuff. Do you have anything else on WandaVision season or episode 4? I was gonna say season 4.
The weights are killing me.
Oh, the week wait. Yeah. It's a rough wait time. It's definitely a rough wait time. See, episode 5, I'm guessing, is going to jump right back into the TV world.
Yeah. I think we might go back to them. Well, I could see them doing the TV up until episode 8, and then we go back out, and then like a 2-part finale where the two merge. Well, kind of similar to how they do Mandalorian.
There's only 9 episodes, so it'd be episode 7 is the last TV episode, and then 2 outside of it.
Yeah, that's what so episode 8 will jump back out.
Okay. 8 and 9. Yeah.
Or shit's probably hitting the fan on both sides.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how they work it. My cat sounds like it's dying out in the hallway. All right, so let's move on then to
Snyder Cut got a release date.
Snyder Cut is the March what?
18th.
March, right? 18th. Awesome.
Where they will then torture people in theaters for 4 hours.
I just got
for audio listeners. Myke is flipping me off.
I will most likely, if it's in my theaters, go and see it in theaters. Just so I just sit down and actually watch straight the whole thing. Uh, 4 hours isn't bad. I mean, they're three and a
Yeah.
half, 3:45 movies. So, and look, like if I can sit down and watch two movies back to back, that's basically a 4 hour film too. Sometimes. And people do go and watch the Avenger movies, like 17 of them all at once. So fuck off.
Yeah, I don't know how they do that.
Or like 20, there's 23 movies now. So yeah. Um, oh yeah. I will watch it. I will enjoy it, and then I'll most likely have to watch it again at home, spot by spot. So I'm assuming you're going to the theaters to watch it too, right, Tivis?
Oh God, no. I will be so thankful for a pause button. But even if there wasn't a pandemic going on and they gave me this option to watch it, this is the one movie I would absolutely watch at home.
Oh yeah, I was surprised when he finally came out and said yes, it's going to be a 4 hour film. We're not breaking it into a show. Which I mean, if you're watching at home, you can still break it into 1 hour parts.
Which is my plan, or
Right.
maybe hour and a half.
I feel lots of people are gonna do that anyways. But for me, I just want to get it done and over. Otherwise, some people are gonna
Rip
take
the band-aid off.
yeah. And I don't want to have to watch, stop, wait a week, and then watch again, and then have a whole nother week to think about what I just saw with it. Because it's not meant to be a TV show; it's meant to be
Yeah.
a movie. Um, yeah. So I'm excited to watch it.
I'm
I
curious
I
because
didn't know I was a Snyder person too, which is weird.
I'm curious if this is supposed to be both Justice League films because originally it was supposed to be Justice League Part 1 and Part 2.
Right. Right.
So I'm curious, is there going to be a natural break where you could have split it into two and he just decided not to?
Maybe. Ooh, what if in the theaters they give you like an intermission after 2 hours, and then it's the second
Now's your chance to run. Flashes on screen.
because they do it with when you who was it Rodriguez and was it Tarantino when that did Death Proof and the other one the Grindhouse double feature. They actually gave you a legit intermission between the two. So if they gave you an
Well,
intermission,
it's supposed to feel like a drive-in, wasn't it?
yeah, I think so. That was the style of that, but it was still two movies.
Oh God, what a drive-in's gonna do if they can use the oh well, it's still cold out. They're not gonna be there's some in the south.
Drive-in's a 4 hour movie in the drive-in. Yeah,
Yeah, they normally show two movies though. That would be way over like time on one, unless you want to be there till like 3, 4 in the morning.
well, yeah, I don't know. I haven't been to a drive-in in a while to see like how they line it up or anything. But usually
Yeah,
they have like a screen on one side and a screen on the other side.
yeah. Because I know one year ours tried to do 3 movies at a time, and it didn't work out too well.
Three movies at a time? Like,
Yeah,
holy shit. On two screens or one screen or like
on both.
both?
Because I went that year. It was Riddick, the last one, which was awesome. Um, I think Kick Ass 2, and then I forget the third one we left during Kick Ass 2. Not because I didn't enjoy it, because Donald Faison is awesome, but because we were tired.
Yeah. Um yeah, I haven't been to a drive-in since I lived in Ohio actually. So, yeah. Boo-hoo. Uh yeah, I'm excited to see it just to watch it and finally get it done and over with and get it out of my system. And
My curiosity and love of the characters has me interested, but
yeah,
my expectations are low.
a lot of people just don't like what he did with Superman. In
Yeah.
general. Like his Batman from Batman v Superman, people enjoyed that, it was Superman that they didn't really enjoy.
I heard an interview with him, which, by the way, I really hate when he calls it the Snyder Cut because you are Snyder. Just say my version. Um, but he talks about how Superman has to earn the blue, and I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. But he was supposed to have done that as a teenager.
Yeah, it was. His version had his dad like very.
Uh,
Pa Kent was very
Stupid.
stupid. Yeah.
Hey,
Very
I'm
stupid.
gonna go
Like,
save this dog from a tornado coming at us. When you could have easily just ran over there and no one would notice a difference because there's a giant tornado.
right. Like if they did see you, it'd be like, who the fuck cares? Tell them the tornado pulled you in real fast.
And his mom is no different in the sequel. Like, they're trying to create like a fucking evil version of him. They're horrible parents in this one.
Well, and, I don't know. I don't have much to say on that. I enjoyed them, but I also, well, Man of Steel, I didn't enjoy a whole lot. I will say that there was a lot. There was a lot of dumb shit going on in that movie that just didn't tonally go with the character that I liked. Also, my kid fell asleep in that movie, and it's a Superman movie, and he loved Superman at the time.
Ooh, that's not good.
That says a lot. Um, and that was in theaters too. Yeah, if a kid who loves Superman falls asleep in theaters to a Superman movie, you might have some issues with your movie. Warner Brothers probably should fix that. Now, if he did like the Red Sun version, perfectly fine. Do that. That's what you should give Snyder. Give him like a multiverse at
Injustice.
Superman or some shit. Yeah. Do some cool shit like that.
Yeah.
I think after the Snyder cut drops, I feel he's phasing out from Warner Brothers.
Maybe he kind of keeps going back and forth.
Yeah. And then I think once his zombie flick drops on Netflix, I feel Netflix might lock him in for like a deal to do X amount of movies for them for so long.
Zombies.
Yeah, or just continue his zombie universe because the Dawn of the Dead remake years ago, and it was actually really good. I mean, it was almost shot for shot the original, but it was really good. I enjoyed it.
It was a nice updated version.
Yeah, and then I'm not sure if he did Land of the Dead, but I know Land of the Dead was like a sequel to Dawn of the Dead almost, or it was supposed to be with Jean Leguizamo.
Let's see. It's Romero.
Romero did that one.
Yeah.
Really?
2005.
All right. I enjoyed that one too. I always looked at it as a sequel to the Dawn of the Dead that Snyder did. So, but if Romero did it, it's still the same fucking person who created the shit anyway.
I suppose you could go from either.
Yeah.
It's pretty similar and around the same, year.
Yeah. And then I wouldn't mind seeing him do a 300 TV show. Because
Yeah.
300 movie was pretty dope.
Did you see the sequel? I haven't.
I have the sequel. I have yet to watch it. I'm kind of worried because I'm like, I don't know. I like I like the actors in the first one, and I like the characters. I don't know how much of that carries over because, of course, Leonidas is dead in the second one. Clearly,
I don't know how much the second one follows the comics either, because again, he's really good at transplanting things into new versions.
Well, he didn't do the second one, did he?
No.
Yeah.
So,
He just did the first one, and
Rise of the Empire.
I was really surprised when I first heard about that film, and they were like, "Yeah, we shot it in a warehouse on a green screen, and that's it." I was like, fuck, I could do that. give me some of the CG budget, and I could go do that.
So it says it was produced by Zack Snyder, but that just could be because he's
He did
had
the
some
first
ideas
one.
he left over.
Well, he
But
did the first one. That's why.
Noam Murrow.
Okay, I don't know who that is. Sorry,
Um,
sorry, Noah. Noah, right?
Noam, maybe
Noam,
Noam.
Nom, Noam. Sorry, I don't know how to pronounce your name, and I don't know who you are.
He's only done three things:
Okay.
Smart People, Rise of the Empire, and Watership Down.
Haven't seen any of them. Rise of the Empire is 300. Rise of the Empire, though. I know
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
I do have that. I just have not watched it. I got it to continue my set of 300. But
I should sit
will
down and watch
watch
it
it.
eventually.
Maybe we should do that. We should watch them back to back, the first two back to back, and then discuss them. That'd be pretty.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, I also like the parody Meet the Spartans.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of talking about movies back to back, a few weeks ago we pulled together 60 movies to talk about, and we were going to
Yes.
talk them. We're postponing that right now until further notice.
This is news to me, people.
So we might until I figure out what we're going to do with it exactly right now.
Yeah.
So we'll work around that, and then we'll do some other fun shit. So yeah. Zack Snyder's Justice League. Go watch it in theaters. What day? What day is it on? March
18th.
2021. March 18th. Go to your theaters.
Another series I might watch consecutively because I haven't seen the third one is Cloverfield.
I have no interest in those ones.
Really?
Yeah.
I enjoyed the first one. The second one, the Cloverfield Lane, obviously wasn't meant to be part of it, but I loved the fact that they were doing an anthology with the series.
Yeah.
I haven't seen the third one.
What's the
third
one?
It's a Paradox. It was that Netflix exclusive that I guess ties directly into the first movie, at least.
Cloverfield Lane, the one with John Goodman?
Yes.
Okay. I didn't watch any of them because I saw them.
That one is really fun.
Watch this shit.
But they just announced they're doing a direct sequel to the first one and giving up on the anthology after only 3 attempts.
Makes sense, I guess. So
it makes me sad, but yeah.
There's a series I want to start, but I don't know. I forgot what it was called now. I wrote it down too, and I didn't bring it up with me. So yeah, that's a thing. There are several movies I want to get to watching too. One is called Notzilla on Amazon because it looks freaking stupid and it looks like it's something I would watch.
Hilarious is I was browsing Amazon Prime to see what was on there. I was going through the sci-fi and it was in there for some reason.
Yeah.
And it was like, okay, that sounds hilarious. I got a buddy who's really into Godzilla, so I'll let him know about this. And then a couple hours later, you send me the trailer for it.
Yeah, I was going through Prime and just looking at some stuff. And then they have Psycho Gorman or Psycho Gorman, I guess. I can't tell if it's a kids movie or what. The visuals kind of remind me of Knights of Badassdom. Oh, I lost Tivis, I think.
No, I'm here. I just scared the hell out of myself.
Oh yeah. But no, if anyone ever has a chance to go and watch the trailer for Psycho Gorman, watch that and tell me what you think. Maybe I'm just like too much of a dad now. I don't know, but it looks kind of fun. It's a movie based on like a demon.
It PG Psycho Gorman?
Probably.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
It goes by
Psycho
both,
Gorman.
apparently.
Oh yeah, PG because Psycho and Gorman, P and then G.
Canadian science fantasy horror comedy.
Yeah, it says that, but when you watch the trailer, it looks like a family movie.
Really?
Yeah, that's what so confuses me because I was like, well, it says horror. What? Wait, what is this? So I couldn't tell. Um, it's a movie about like this Psycho Gorman, I guess, is a demon type warrior. But if you have this thing, you control him. So this little girl pulls it out, and she now controls him. Tells him he can't kill anybody, he can't do anything unless she says to. She like tells him to stand still, like stand here and wait for us till we come back tomorrow. But he can still talk, he can still be himself. He just can't do anything. So he's like, I'm gonna kill you and your soul or some shit like that. And then like she introduces him to her parents, I believe it is. And she's like, don't worry, he's not gonna hurt you. He's like, be scared, be very scared. I'm gonna crush your bones. And I was like, what is this?
I don't know if you ever watched The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy, but it kind of reminds me of that concept a little bit, just taking a little more extreme.
Yeah, with death. Yeah.
I guess it premiered on Shudder.
Yeah, it premiered on Shudder. It's on Amazon Prime to rent, I believe.
It's got some good reviews on Rotten Tomatoes.
Does it?
90% fresh.
I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing because it's Rotten Tomatoes.
To normal people, it's good.
Again, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing because it's Rotten Tomatoes. I know people that review for Rotten Tomatoes. I don't know if I trust their opinions all the time. Anyway.
This person only gave it a 23. Ooh. Oh, no, wait, that's Breach. That's an entirely different movie. Never mind. I'm looking at the wrong section of the website. I don't know how to use Rotten Tomatoes.
So I know we talked loosely about TMNT, The Last Ronin.
Yeah.
The comic. The second issue comes out this month. I believe it comes out on the 14th of February. I believe that's the day it comes out.
That's quite a delay.
Yeah, they really delayed it. I'm not sure why. I think because there was such an interest in the first issue, they had to do second and third prints of the first issue. And in doing so, then pushes the second issue back.
Which is rare, by the way.
Yes.
It's very rare for anything to get third printing. Like second is uncommon alone, but a third is
I'm not sure
really, really big selling.
I'm not sure if they ended up doing the third printing, but I know there was talks of it. But I know for sure they got a second printing.
With how popular that franchise is and how much people were talking about this, I can honestly believe.
Yeah. I do kind of want to spoil it, the first issue, if people are okay with it. Finally, because it's been so long, I figure I can finally spoil it, maybe, if you're cool with it. Are you cool with that?
I'm fine. I'm not going to read it.
Okay. Because
at least not right now. Right. Maybe in the future, but.
Well, I read the first issue a couple months back, and I've reread it the other day. And both times I read it, when you get to that last page, because they go through the whole issue 1, and spoilers for Ronin issue 1, The Last Ronin, TMNT issue 1. If you don't want to know who the turtle is left, just pause for like 20 minutes or 10 minutes or so, or skip ahead.
Don't pause, skip ahead.
Skip ahead. Yeah.
If you pause, you're not going to go any further.
That beeping noise. So both times I read
not your fire alarm, is it?
I hope not. The end reveals which turtle is still alive and that is doing all the fighting, who is the last Ronin. And that reveal sent chills down my spine and everything. It's the first time I've had that since in reading a comic book in a very, very, very long time, I'll say. Might be like that to that degree, probably ever, but I have had chills reading some comic books before. I mean, if you read books, if people actually read out there in the world, you do get these weird feelings sometimes when things are just like, whoa, the goosebumps, if you will, and not necessarily the books, but sometimes you get goosebumps. So they revealed in there, it's like the last words is saying it's Mikey.
Okay.
It was just saying that gave me shivers for some reason. But it was really cool because that's who one I wanted it to be the whole time. And I kept myself from finding out online. Somehow I kept myself from finding out online. I don't know how. But another really cool thing about it is with him being the last Ronin. And oh shit. Hold on a sec. I want to get all the names right for the authors. Because I believe it was Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird that did this one, but two others were on it. Okay, so Kevin Eastman, Peter Laird, who are the original creators of TMNT, of course. But then Tom Waltz and Esoy Escorza as an artist. And Isaac Escorza as an artist as well. Those are the creators of this. But the only two names I really care about are Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird, because that being Mikey, being the last turtle, is awesome because the very, 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 very first fucking turtle that Kevin Eastman drew was Mikey, was a turtle with nunchucks.
Makes sense.
So I was like, I wonder if that was their thought process going into making this book, or if that's just me being like over knowledgeable on the product.
I'm sure it's a bit of, column A and a bit of column B.
Yeah. So
Because
I thought it was really
he's
cool.
also the only one who's ambidextrous on the team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's
I'm trouble with words.
It's all good. So I wanted to share that with everybody and let people know to check that series out. If you haven't, definitely get the first issue and then check out the second issue, because it's probably going to be a really good series. And if the first issue is any indication, the second issue is probably going to sell out real fast too.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Either that or people just rushed out to buy the first issue because they wanted to know who the turtle was left. So yeah, I think that's all I have for all of that.
And I'm not a big turtle guy, but the story really, really kind of interests me. So I might wait for the trade and read it all at once. So if you haven't heard anything about it, look it up. Like, it sounds really cool.
Yeah,
and
it's only going to be a 5-issue series. So, granted, the first issue came out months ago, but we're okay with that as long as the product is good.
And I'm gonna shill for my buddy here, not being paid by it, but he has started a online comic buying thing to help people called Comic Shopping Experience. So if you're buying, books online, you want the physical book, not the digital, consider checking them out. He owned a comic book store that went under like a year. His final month was going to be March, and that got cut short by the pandemic.
Yeah.
So he's been doing online ever since, and he's been working with a bunch of big names in the industry to set this up.
Oh, that's really cool. So say it again one more time for everybody. Where can they?
Comic Shopping Experience, or the EXP for short.
EXP. All right. And it's just comicshoppingexperience.com or just
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, the website just launched. It's kind of bare right now, but he has a sign up list for mailing and stuff for comics. So,
Awesome.
you know, give it a try. His name's Kyle. He's real cool.
Spend your money on that and not on Cameo, people. Comics need love too, and we all need to read sometimes. And
Or our
reading
Patreon.
Facebook is not. Yeah, I guess so. We should just chill ourselves then real quick. If you like what we're doing, guys, join us on Patreon at operationbabble.com slash or no wait. Fuck. I fucked it up. At patreon.com/operationbabble. We have 3 tiers going on right now, a $2, a $5, and a $10 one.
We know there's nothing on there yet. We are
We're
literally going to start
content on-
filming stuff and putting stuff up there.
Yep.
Or recording. Might not be video all the time.
And I just added on to our $2 tier that for my backdrops that I utilize during the shows and stuff, I'm uploading them. So if you want to use them as your backdrops, if they're work that I can do, like this Venus de Milo one that I'm using right now, unfortunately, I cannot do that with because I do not own this and I don't know the artist to give them credit. So if you know the artist who drew this, please shout them out in the comments or something. If you're watching the video, of course. Other than that, contact
or
us.
if you can imagine it in your brain, go ahead and shout one out. Maybe Michael gets some interesting art out of it.
Yeah. I am going to try and get more original artwork behind me so that I can do more of giving people stuff. I dropped my Thanksgiving and my Christmas backdrops on the tier 1 place. So it's only $2 a month and you get all my backdrops that I'm able to put on there. Shout out in every episode, I believe I put, and a bunch of other stuff. I don't even remember everything that's on just the tier 1. And tier 2 opens up everything in the same tier, except then you get like our extra content, like video content. If we want to like come up with something, say Tivis just saw an episode of Doctor Who and wants to, go on about talking about it real quick, you might get a clip of that. If I just watch something, I might do the same thing. So yeah. And then tier 3, which is the $10 tier, I don't even remember what's in that one. I always have to go and look, but you get everything else plus bonus content. It's a lot more bonus content with that one for sure.
I can't even look at it because their mobile app is still fucking broken where I can't scroll down.
But if you do want to, you can go on there. You don't even, if you don't want to do like a monthly thing and just want to do like here's a quick donation, that's perfectly fine too. We enjoy it. It's something that helps keep our mics on, and that's basically the main point of it.
We also want to use this as a way to get stuff that you guys like, things you specifically want to hear from us that we don't normally do in the time. Please let us know. I'm going to be doing some throw it at the wall stuff, pilot type stuff. If you enjoy it, let me know. I'll do more of it, but it might not be very consistent for a while.
And they can comment on our videos through Patreon, correct? Is that an option? I believe that's an
yes.
option.
Yeah. Once they're posted.
Yeah. Once the videos are posted. Okay. Awesome. And then of course, if you have anything that you want to see on the normal show, as our normal listeners and stuff, let us know in the comments. Let us know on the audio comments, the video comments, or email us like we said earlier at Operation
Twitter
at outlook.com.
Sorry.
Oh, you're good. I was trying to remember what I was
Screw
saying.
y'all.
And then of course all the social medias, Operation Babble at Facebook, Twitter,
like us, follow us.
We're just on Facebook and Twitter. We don't have an Instagram account yet.
No, I think you just go through yours.
Yeah.
So follow Myke on Instagram.
Yeah, so follow me, Myke Shrews, on Instagram and Twitter, and YouTube is where the videos drop. If you have never seen the video of Operation Babble, I believe you can just go to YouTube and type in Operation Babble, and it should take you directly to a whole playlist on my page. And if you want, subscribe there because that would be awesome. Yeah, and that's enough shilling. I have one last thing. If you don't have any more to shill, Tivis, I have one last thing because I hate just shilling and then ending the show. It's stupid.
No shilling, but Black Lightning returns on Monday,
Well,
just to let everyone know, and I'm excited for the final season. Sad, but
yeah, it's final season. Then they're doing a spin-off where most of the characters are going to another show. Correct?
are they? I have not heard this.
That's what I had heard. They're doing a spin-off for one of the characters, and I'm assuming several of the other characters will be joining over on that show.
Oh, Painkiller.
Yeah.
That's my least interesting character. All right, well, whatever. As long as there's more, I guess.
Right. And then lastly, I just had a question really. So we saw Wonder Woman recently. Warner Brothers is really pushing it to be an Oscar contender in almost
Oh yeah, they are.
every category. I'm curious. I'm curious on your thoughts on this. If Marvel would have dropped Black Widow last year in 2020, do you think that that would have had a chance to become Marvel's MCU Oscar winning movie with just what we've seen, of course?
Okay.
Because if Wonder Woman's being pushed, I don't know all the other Oscar nominations this year and shit like that. I don't really care. I'm just talking comic book Oscar worthy.
I was gonna look them up. Um, so let me preface this, if you didn't hear that episode, that I did enjoy Wonder Woman. It's obviously flawed. It's not a great film, but I enjoyed it for the campiness that it is. I absolutely believe with the quality Marvel movies that they put out that they could have easily beat Wonder Woman, especially this year when there's not a lot of competition.
Yeah. Do you think then that Warner Brothers, if successful anyways, tries to push the Snyder cut for the Oscars, and that's why they're putting it
I have no doubt.
I think that's one of the main reasons they're putting that in theaters, is so they can try to push that, because most of Warner Brothers stuff is going to both theaters and streaming, and they're looking like the only company that's going to theaters, really.
Yeah, what is it? Universal has that deal with AMC, but it doesn't seem to be going anywhere.
Yeah, but also because the Snyder Cut will now be classified as a film and not a short series, it can run for Best Picture or some shit like that, which I don't think it'll ever get Best Picture, but it might get a couple things here and there depending on what they do.
Now that you say that, I honestly believe that's why he chose not to cut it up. But I could see them down the line being like, okay, there's the movie version, but now we're going to do the part, we're going to cut it into 2 or 3 parts.
Oh yeah. Tarantino did that with the Hateful Eight, I believe it was the Western. It was
I think they did. Yeah.
On Netflix, they cut it in. Each chapter is an episode basically now. You can watch it as one whole thing or individually, which I guess individually might work, especially for shorter time periods that you have open. I ended up watching that whole thing once in a row, and I was just like, "This is too much." So, but I'm also like, I guess I'm kind of, I like Tarantino's work, but I'm not like a Tarantino stan or anything like that, So, I don't think there's any director. There's only like a couple directors where I've seen all of their work just based on them directing it.
You mean you're not a stan until his Star Trek movie comes out?
I will probably be a hater because he'll probably piss me off with it. If he does a Star Trek movie, it needs to be like 100% Klingon based.
I'm curious how, like, he's obviously a fan, because
Mm-hmm.
that's the only franchise thing that he's ever said he wanted to do.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
I think it might be fun to talk to him about it.
He knows he would never be able to do a Star Wars film with his style. So Star Trek, you could actually get away with doing some of that stuff. And I think CBS would actually allow it too, especially after season Discovery season 1. Yeah. where you get to see actual Klingon beast sex shit. And
The only problem is that if it's a movie, they have to get the other half of the license's approval.
right. Until they finally come together. Who knows? Um yeah, it's a tough one. I I don't know if I want him to do I wouldn't want him to do a Star Trek movie taking place with Starfleet, if that makes sense. I know you're not like a big Trekkie person or anything.
I know what Starfleet is.
Well, I know that, but like, well, okay, I didn't actually. I was just trying to be basic. um, but like,
There might be some who don't.
there's so many storylines that I think would be really cool for a Tarantino film. But then there's also like a Mandalorian type thing where it's very small scale that you could do.
Yeah.
A war on another planet that Starfleet that there's no spaceships ever. You could be on the fucking Western planet that they have in the original series and shit. And his movies could have taken place in the Star Trek universe for all we know. You don't know. There you go. That's all he has to say. At the end of Hateful Eight, add the Enterprise coming down and taking whoever's left. Django gets freed because Captain Kirk helped him out. There you go. Yeah. Um, I'm interested if they ever get that done. I highly doubt they're going to get that done, unfortunately. But it'd be kind of cool. I'm always for seeing some of these bigger directors jump, not bigger directors, some of these more, not prominent. What's the word? Distinct. Eccentric, distinct, yeah, directors that have their own style and it won't necessarily mesh perfectly with the franchise. And sometimes I feel that's what these franchises need. Like, look what the Russo brothers did with the MCU when they did Winter Soldier.
Yeah, and they became big doing TV, Community.
They did was it Community? No, they did
No, Community, the paintball episode was the one that drew the attention for Avengers.
Okay.
I mean, they've done other stuff. I'm just.
Yeah. But then, of course, by the end of their MCU run, they kind of just morphed back into what MCU fucking is. And at that point, though, I think it's because Endgame was such a high-scale risk movie for Marvel. They wanted to have more control, which kind of sucked, honestly. Yeah, you could tell where there's things shoehorned in there. Like Marvel's like, hey, remember 10 years ago when this franchise started? Here's a clip from that movie. Here's another clip. Oh, but our old heroes are in that clip too.
I do feel kind of bad for the brothers because I can't imagine the stress level trying to come up with that. They even talked about like we were going to bring in every character from everything ever, the agents, Agent Carter, the Defenders, and we're like, we just looked at it. We can't. It's too much.
Yeah. They could have brought the Defenders in, but it kind of would have been like, yeah, I don't know. Because, I mean, the fucking Howard the Duck was there. Come on. Like, we're not going and getting the bulletproof man or the girl who can literally rip your arms off. Really? Or the guy who can punch the shit out of you, who's like tiny as a twig. He could have knocked Thanos out. Thanos. What? Or how did Ted Cruz say it? Thanos or some shit.
Was that an Arnold impression?
I don't know. he was talking about Thanos, but he like said it almost. He said like Thanos, and then later he said like to Thanos or I don't even fucking remember what it was. I don't know. What's his Guardians of the Galaxy dude.
James Gunn.
James Gunn was making fun of him for it. Yeah, it was funny. But that's all I got, man. You got anything else for me today?
The Black Lightning was the last thing I. Oh, actually, yes. There is one more thing. I don't know if you. Well, two things actually.
Oh,
I don't know if you heard. In Texas, they accidentally sent out a. I didn't open a link for it. They accidentally sent out a. Oh, here it is. A Amber Alert that was only meant to be for a test. The description was for 5-year-old Glenn Ray, who has been abducted by Chucky, the 28-year-old, 3'1", 16-pound, red hair, blue-eyed doll, known to be wearing blue denim and carrying a kitchen knife.
But wait, the child's name was Glenn Ray?
His kid from the movies.
That wasn't the kid's name. Charles Lee Ray was who Chucky was.
Yeah, Glenn Ray was his kid from Seed, wasn't it?
Glenn and Glenda. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's right.
So the authorities accidentally sent out an Amber Alert for movie Killer Doll.
Nice.
And
technically, that kid is alive. Just so he's not in the doll body anymore.
True. The other thing is we've been watching the behind the scenes thing for Mandalorian because I didn't watch it when it first aired, and there was something I heard on there about Pedro Pascal. You know, he mostly did the voice and showed up when they took the helmet off. There was actually 2 actors who portrayed him. One who was the fire Western style, and the other one was martial arts. So one day he showed up for the finale, was rehearsing his unmasked scene, left the makeup trailer, stepped on a plank of wood, and it smacked him in the face. So when you see him all damaged in that finale, he's actually got 7 stitches in his face because he's that bloody.
That's fucking hilarious. That's for the finale of the first season?
Yeah, when we first see him.
Well, I mean, it's a good thing he's beat up in that scene then. Wow, that's awesome, man. Oh shit. Damn it, I forgot all this whole time about my movie quote. So I'm just going to make it up.
Pick one from WandaVision.
No. I will go.
Oh, I thought you were going off the top of your head. That's why I suggested.
No. Here we go. And okay. All right, what is your I'm sorry, people. All right, what are you going with today, Tivis?
I got a quote too.
Oh no, I mean, what is your closer? What's your closer? Give me a closer. How did you enjoy the show, Tivis?
I liked it.
All right. Clearly, you are an only child. Otherwise, you would know that our dear siblings are the ones most predisposed to betray us. Said by Alice from Batwoman. Have a good day, everybody. Peace.
Bye. Damn it. I tried to hold it in so long.
You just finished another great episode of Operation Babble. You can catch every episode of Operation Babble on all your audio streaming services, including SoundCloud, iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, Radio Public, and more. Don't forget to like us on Facebook at facebook.com/Operation Babble, and join the conversation today by searching for the Operation Babble group on Facebook. Links also in the description. Thanks and have a great day.